Huzzah! The storm has passed. We can now... Sorry, lady, I didn't mean to get in your way. The storm has passed. We can now escape and continue our journey. Right, well, since we're here, we could have a look at delivering this salvage metal. But I think rather than do that, let's continue with the tutorial journey steps. If you come to the back of this building here, well, I like to think of the back or the north side, you can see far off into the next section called the Vermilius Gap. We're not going to worry about that right now. You can see that big hammer-shaped rock over there. All that will become clear in due course. For now, we're going to pop back in here. We're going to ignore all of this extra content for the time being, so that this can be as close to beginner guide and irrelevant of where you choose to start out or where the game puts you and where you choose to plant your roots. We're going to pop back down and we're going to set up a little encampment. Now, top tip for where you're going to build your building. Water is life. And at this early stage, your only options are to spend hard-earned money from your adventuring on water at the trade stations if they have any for sale, cups of water, or be near these plants so you can rehydrate yourself. Now, my top tip: build your first base, potentially all your bases, but it'll become less important later on, but you'll see why. Build your very first base somewhere near a bed of these flowers. That is my top tip. Yes, you can build near, for example, the copper nodes up there. For example, the fiber that will respawn down here. For example, scrap metal, rocks that you can cut for granite so you can extend your base or change the way it looks or whatever. All of those things, yes. The most important resource at all is water, particularly at this stage. So build your sub-fief somewhere near a primrose patch like that. Doesn't matter where, anywhere along this whole Haga Basin south, whatever you're doing, just be somewhere near some water. Now, I'm wondering, there are no build zones, so I'm going to take out my construction tool. So you can see here that the sub-fief that we're trying to place, which is at the bottom of the list there, the sub-fief, which places a cube, can't be, that's my blue cube that you're looking at there, that would be the zone within which I can build, and you can see it is three-dimensional, so it's important to also build higher up, so that you can make the most use of your cube and build the tallest building possible within it, if you like to build tall. But you cannot build too close to a red zone, which will be marked there, no building zone. So you can't in any case build right on top of all of these things here. We need to find somewhere that is that maybe has a good view. I also just heard the pip 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 noise, denoting that I might be getting a bit thirsty. Now what I'm probably going to do is build, we could build, can we build here? Yes, so the game would allow us to build anywhere here. There's a copper node. What I'm going to look for is I'm going to look for some concrete nodes, some copper nodes, because we're going to need a lot of that. I haven't seen much concrete, and then we need to have, as I said, the water is the most important resource to be near. So I just so happen to know a spot. So I can recommend a spot just over to the east of the trading post, making it very accessible, very quick to get back and forth, that also has a nice little primrose patch. So we're going to run over here, down this hill here, and again, it's entirely up to you. You can build, you know, wherever it's permissible, build to your heart's content. Just I appeal to your senses. Build, in fact, maybe we'll go over here, we'll do something slightly different. I'm not going to do exactly what I've done already once before. Okay, so there's a nice spot over here. Let's see if we can build here. There's a couple of concrete or granite nodes. There's a water node. Okay, here we're good. Over there is a red zone. So that means there's some bad guys. There's a camp over there, so we can pop out and kill them and rearm and stuff like that. Oh, I am suffering the debuffs of excessive heat. I need to find some shade. There we go. Crouch down here. So you can see debuffs on the right. An on-screen icon will let you know when you're suffering a negative effect. Negative effects have a duration, will also display how long the effect lasts. So we are suffering heat stroke, therefore we consumed water incredibly quickly. That was when the the white marker turned red. I'm going to rehydrate myself. And again, with your T key, you can check your status and see whether you're debuffed in the left corner or not. Okay, well, I'm going to build here because there's a little bit of stone. We're near to some copper nodes and all those kind of good things, and we're especially near to some water, and also we have a little camp there that will respawn every once in a while, and we'll be able to just farm that if we so choose. We call them the rowdy neighbors. Okay, so we take out our thief tool. Now, your first placement is important. What you want to do is pick a direction you're happy to look in. Here we're going to look at that hammer over there. That's pretty good. Here's a little gotcha that I always fall into while I'm building. While I'm often not looking at my sun meter, and I'm getting sunstroke all the time. All right. Maybe we'll edit this bit up and make it a little bit tidier. Another top tip I would give you is build at nighttime, because you won't end up giving yourself sunstroke every 5 minutes. Okay, so we're going to try to put this down in a way that gives us a nice free-flowing access to the sand. Hold the left control key and scroll your mouse wheel. That moves the sub-thief up and down, although here we're pretty much good to go. I'm just gonna pop that down there.
You are now the proud
owner
of an imperial sub-thief. More of a
get out of the sun again.
Sub-thief.
There we go.
But it's enough for now. Get your construction tool out and get cracking. It's
okay.
Not a shelter without walls and a roof.
Right. So now, taking the construction tool out, as the chappie said, we can build within that block there. So from that back edge, it's a square there. Now, I know a lot of games lend themselves towards building things that are very blocky, very square, a box, in other words. I try not to build boxes, but don't worry too much about, the size and shape of the base. Just make it comfortable for you. If you like working in a box, put all your storage in a row, that kind of thing, and all your machines on the other wall, go for it. I'm going to build something that's not quite so boxy, and when I'm done, I'll come back. One top tip, though, with the building tool, and this is one that a lot of people miss, the game gives you this list of favorites here, like square foundation, square wall, doors, stairs, ceiling pieces, that kind of thing, as well as your basic power and storage. Then you can go Q and E across the different categories, most of which are empty right now. Top tip, it says it there in the middle bottom of the screen, R to change set. Press R. This brings up all of the different subcategories. Here, decorations. So if you're looking for lighting and all that kind of stuff, that's where to look. Here are your, these are actually Twitch drop pieces. There goes my pips for my water hydration. So these are pieces that I have thanks to Twitch drops. And here is your basic starter building set. So if you really want to avoid building square stuff, R button is your friend. Look for the Chome building set, Chome shelter, and you can see, for example, rounded foundations, triangle foundations, different more curvy walls with all the rounded windows and ceiling and roof pieces to go with it. So have at it, have a ton of fun, play with all the different pieces. They all have basic concrete, not concrete, I keep saying concrete, granite, stone costs. Pretty cheap to build, so there's no real excuse to just build a box, unless a box is what really, really makes you happy and gets you going in the game. Then go for it. Don't listen to old Grumbles. All right, I'm going to build something simple, and then we'll give you a walk around it and come back to that. First thing I'm going to do, though, is drink from my local water patch. Huzzah! I'm already winning. Right. Actually, let's walk through putting a couple of basic pieces together. So we'll start with a couple of square foundations. It doesn't matter too much. Again, left control, scroll wheel to raise them up as far as possible. It can be a little bit... Oh, it's also left alt and scroll wheel to do your angles. It can be a little tricky to get things to kind of line up and stay inside the box. Like that. You can see the angle that I'm building out there. I'm going to run into trouble straight away. So let's right click to demolish. Let's get out of the sun again. Keep an eye on your sun meter, because you really, as much as you're going to go back and forth to get water all the time, you're going to make your life a lot harder, and it's going to become more frustrating if you let that go red and you get the debuff. You're going to be going through your water all the time, and because we can't hydrate too far yet, it's going to become quite the frustration. So when you're in the building mode, on the right hand side there are 5 sub modes, if you will. Build does what it says on the tin. You're going to place items down. One left click places a projection like so. But it's not actually used any materials, so you can have a look at where your pieces are going to kind of fit together first before actually committing, which is pretty cool. So like that. Now, would I be able to go further off to the back? Yes, so that's far enough in. That's an easy spot to build with. There we go. Then if you wanted to build the piece, you just left click, hold, and that builds that foundation. There we go. Nice and easy, right? Okay, I want to see, so I'm going to place a projection there, and then I'm going to get a rounded foundation for the rear, and I'm going to see, yes, we could actually fit a rounded one there. Now we've got to be careful, we don't want to cover all the flowers, although we've got 2 flower patches here, so we're pretty safe. I'm going to go with a different kind of building that I've not tried before. I'm going to go on the fly, and we're going to just build something that's not too round, not too square rather. And we're going to go like that. We're going to put that down like that. So what this will mean is, actually, there's my first mistake. I won't be able to get stairs down at the back here. I'd have to walk straight out the back, and then I'd have to jump up the top there, so that would be annoying. So what we're going to do is, straight away, is we're going to demolish that square one there. We're going to build that one, and then we're going to go to inclines, grab some stairs, and we're just gonna put some stairs there like that. So this will be my way out to come and get water like that, and then running into my base over here. There we go. Nice. Okay, now let's put some more. Oh, let's drink some water. Boop. Okay, now the sooner we can get a little roof over our head, the sooner we can have the status called water sealed. Now what we could do here is we could build some roofing pieces, but at some point we're probably going to have structural challenges. So I think I'm going to go just with some foundations. Insufficient stability, so we need to come down here, build underneath. Now they have to be fully built out in order to give you the stability you're looking for. So here we go. Now the next mode down the list, if you hit right click, is piece picker. Now you can see a white outline around this piece. I left click, it's picked that piece. I move down to where the projection shows it being underneath, and I left click and hold to build that one, and that's built the piece underneath. On this side obviously we lower to the ground, so we don't need that so much. Wonderful. The next pieces are move. This doesn't apply to actual structural building parts like walls and foundations, but it does apply to things like your subfief. Now my subfief is right in the way and I can't really build over it, so I come up to it, go to the move mode, right click until I've been move it over to the corner and just shove it over here. There you go, job done. Can't be damaged, not going to be destroyed or whatever, unless you don't have your shields and everything working. We'll get into that. But it's going to be just out of the way. It's not going to be in the way of me building. So right click to piece picker, left click, pick the square, have another one like that. And then I think what we're going to do is we're going to go like this. And then I'm going to want to have some sort of garage area, because soon TM we're going to get ourselves a little bike. So I'm going to try something a little bit funky here. like this, staying well within the boundaries. Let's see if I can do that and do that. There we go. Okay, looking quite good. So we're going to end up not having a box. Might not be the most useful thing in the world. Right, and now what we need to do is put some inclines. Now, what I typically like to do is go with these half inclines, but as you can see already, that would take us out of the edge of our property. So just for practical sake, we're going to go to demolish mode, see the red boundary there, and demolish it. And then we're going to go back to build mode, scroll through, and we're going to take these. Now we've got to check that this is actually coming into the ground. It is. Perfect. Okay, excellent. All right, I have now built a small starter hut. Definitely didn't spend loads of extra time building way more than you need to for a start. Anyway, welcome to Chez Oulon. I've done my best to not build a block. Now, I will say that with the limitations of the space you get at the beginning, it's a wee bit fiddly, but what you will see is the thief moved to the outside out of the way to the corner. Plenty of access to flowers for water. Easy access to the water from the rear of the building, just a straight through shot. A nice big garage area where a sand bike will happily fit in. You can use a standard door, by the way. The sand bike will fit through the normal personnel door. However, this door obviously looks better and feels more comfortable, I guess. You have a nice ramp going up to said doorway with stairs in case you're on foot. You know, aesthetics, that doesn't really matter. I've built a little balcony and I've kind of made the place, I don't know, just fit in, freeformed it. Didn't have a specific design, just went with whatever came to my mind. And here we are. We've got a little private bedroom area. We've got a big old like lounging, relaxing, whatever, more processing space, and a balcony from which we can see Griffin's Reach trade post, the hammer. Obviously, watch the moon at night, and maybe get a few sightings of Jeff on the sands. Don't know. It's not going to be so prevalent in here, but certainly out there. Anyway, just wanted to show you and maybe inspire you a little bit, and show that you don't have to just build a box. But this is a little bit excessive for the starter base. It could be fun. You can also save the design. We'll get to that shortly in the tutorial, I think. And that way you'll be able to just put it down as a blueprint and build it bit by bit. Definitely, again, my tips of definitely be near water. If you can be near some granite stone, copper, salvage metal, scrap metal, very, very helpful. Maybe an enemy encampment, not a must, but we can go out there and farm that a little bit as well if we need to. Get some blood and so forth. That will become important. Very important, actually. I've put a little bit of lighting in here. I've put a little bit of decor from drops and from the deluxe edition. But again, do whatever comes to your mind. We're probably not going to make use of a lot of this space, but it could be a fun base to make a blueprint of and plonk down when we get to moving on. All right, so let's crack on. What this base does not have is small storage containers and a fuel-powered generator. So let's put those down. Now, it's very important to know that whilst you have your sub-thief and your zone, you don't have any shielding. So if a storm was to come through here, for example, while you're building in that, the place is unprotected initially. So it's very important to get your fuel power generator up and running as quick as possible, so that you have your actual shielding up around your building. And here's another top tip for you. Speaking from a bit of experience, put your generators up on your roof. As long as it's reasonably easy to get to. It's just a short climb for us on this building. Also recommend throw down 2 of them right from the get-go. So now, because, you know, they look like they belong on the roof kind of thing anyway. They're protected by the shields once the shields are up. and they take up quite a bit of space, so no need to put them inside of your base. That'll save you quite a lot of space. We open those up, and we're going to deposit, it says here, 102 fuel cells, like so. You'll get a little cutscene the first time you do this.
Keep your base safe from the sandstorms. Just keep the generator fueled, or the storms will tear at your walls.
There we go.
And it goes without saying.
Pretty little base.
Don't build on open sand.
Bit blocky.
Seal your base,
but, you know,
off-worlder. Maintain
within the small cube we've got to work with.
And it will keep you alive. You've
All
done
right.
well licking flowers and sucking sap, but you need a consistent
yes,
source
we
of
do.
water. And the best source out here is blood.
Yes.
Extract it, store it, refine it, and drink it.
Yes.
Raw if you're really desperate.
Uh-oh.
And don't mind throwing up. Actually, don't drink it. Unless you really have to.
Yes. All right. Drinking the blood will actually take some of your health off, so it's really not advised unless you're desperate. Okay, so we have this generator running. We put 102 fuel cells in. That's equating to 4 days and 5 hours, 6 hours of uptime. Now, top tip, especially for beginners, click on the storage tab of your fuel generator. In here you can see all the batteries that are there and your backpack on the left. Right click on the fuel cells, click split, 50-50, take those away, move over to your other one, deposit those. Now that one's running for 2 days and 2 hours. This one 2 days and 4 hours. There you go, 2 fuel generators, but splitting the batteries across them, that's giving us a couple of days to play with. So it's a pretty generous system, and we haven't even gone out of our way to collect a whole load of fuel cells. That's just what we've happened upon while adventuring, so pretty neat. We did get the pip, so we need to drink. All right, next thing, construct or interact with a small storage container. So construction tool again, for me number 5 here, small storage container. And now we're going to try and put these somewhere very convenient. I think this back wall here looks pretty good for easy access from our bike coming and going and so forth. So I'm just going to put a bunch of these down. One. Oh, I actually don't have enough materials for another one. Okay, there we go. So it wants us to build specialized equipment for blood processing. We need 110 scrap metal. We need to research the basic exsanguination kit and craft, etc. So what we'll do is, first we're going to put a whole load of copper that I've mined while I've been grabbing some stone. Put the rest of our stone in there. Put our plant fibers and our scrap metal away. Put these armor plates away, they're no use for us. Micro sandwich fiber and EMF generators, going to be super handy soon. Let's put those away. And if you want to, because when you do die, even in PvE, you will lose your coins. You could tuck your coins away here for safekeeping. I will say that generally speaking, you will get more than enough coins as you progress through the game, so nothing to worry about on that front. Okay.
Sector weather alert.
Oh, bad weather coming in. Let's run over here because there's some scrap metal. Hopefully it's spawned up. We may have used a bit on that slightly excessive starter base that I've created. Again, don't feel pressure if you want to just build a little box that's just enough, and you don't want to run around getting granite and all the rest of it. You rather get on with your story. Go for it. Absolutely go for it. Okay, we'll grab a bit more of this. Okay, we needed 110. We have 110. Very nice. Research exsanguination, basic exsanguination kit, craft a blood extractor, and craft a small blood sack. Run. The storm is coming, so let's get indoors. Okay, so again, coming back to this base, whether we're coming back on foot like now or with the sandbag later on. Run. Straight through the back door if we're desperate for water. And we could drink there. However, what we're going to be doing is borrowing a significant quantity of blood from our neighbors. Alright, let's research the basic exsanguination kit, which also gives us access to the blood bag. Craft the improvised blood extractor. The small blood bag needs plant fiber. You remember we put our plant fiber in our box here, so we'll grab that. B. Blood sac. Okay, now top tip here, I would say always carry at least 2 of these on you. Maybe more, but they do obviously take pocket space, so it can be a bit of a juggling act. Alright, let's put that stuff away from our pocket. Map marker, scavenge camps and other locations appear on the map when discovered. Okay, so click M and you can see these camps, which will be re-inhabited by new scavengers from time to time. So we're going to go and take on these bad guys over here. Oopsie. Let's see, I'm trying to get to my inventory, but failing miserably. I normally have that on number 7. But you do as you prefer. Let's see. Use our powers. Come to me. And then stabby, stabby. 3 gut strikes. Grab those. And now, number 7. Take the exsanguinator. Point it over there. It goes green. Click. Left mouse button once. Boom. We have blood. Blood can be consumed to hydrate yourself directly. So you can go into your inventory, hover over the blood bag and hold down F to drink. However, that will damage your health, so it's not recommended. Let's just grab a little bit more metal while we're here and have a look if they had any loot in their camp, as they usually do. There we go, lovely loot box, bit of money, lovely jubbly. Okay, oh look, free metal. Yeah. Okay, research the blood purifier. Let's see. So, Y for research menu. Blood purifier, double click, confirm. Marvelous. Now with the construction tool. Oh, by the way, we talked about shelter very briefly before. If I now press T, because I have a roof over my head and everything, it's sealed on all sides. Then it is in the state that's called water sealed, and that is even better than enclosed. That means you're enclosed but you're not using any water either. So as long as we're indoors, even if you open the front doors and everything, as long as you're not standing there while there's direct sunlight on it or whatever, you will be fine and not consume any of your water, as long as you're within the boundaries. Right, number 5, we now have, if we press R to change that and we go to placeables, we go to all, we can see new items here. Under refineries, we have a blood purifier. We're going to grab that and we're going to put him probably over here. We're probably going to build a couple of these. All right, there we go. There's one. Let's see, do we have enough for another one? Yeah, but it's being a bit weird to place. I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, use the blood purifier. And then you click this button here, deposit blood. Boom.
By now, Off-worlder.
There we go.
Spice.
Message from Zantara.
It's everywhere on Arrakis. The air, the sand, the blood.
Spice.
It prolongs life, expands consciousness,
Yes.
and triggers some very vivid dreams.
Here we go. Dream sequence time. Huh. What are we seeing in the sky? In the stars? Something blinks at us. Uh-oh.
Observe this valley, sacred to the Equan Bedouin. Here, Wally faced the trials of Aql, proving their knowledge of the Fremen ways. Find the Fremen, she said.
Oh dear.
Seven tests, 7 steps. Set your feet. Follow the uncertain path. Keep moving. The only death is stagnation.
That was a big mouse. All right. There we go. Spy streams. You have experienced a spy stream. On awakening, you are protected from harm for a short time. You may continue your journey. All right. Let's go. Follow your inner sight to the first trial in an unknown location. The inner sight. Your inner sight has revealed the path. Follow it to the first trial of Aql. The inner sight marker... Oh, too fast for me to read. Okie dokie. So, now in our journeys, we have the first trial of Aql. It's automatically tracking. It's in an unknown location. We press M for our map, and lo and behold, our inner sight has given us the hint, or set our objective down here with this purple coloration. There are, as it said, 7 trials. They vary significantly in content, but they're all story elements, so nothing that you should be too worried about in terms of challenge, albeit there is a little bit. Okay, so there is our objective. It's setting us there. This is another one of the reasons why I said I recommend setting up either near the trade location or somewhere central here. Your possible spawn-ins are all along this region here, more or less. So work your way east or west accordingly, or north if you came in down here. Again, that is my recommendation. You can also put a marker down on the map to set a waypoint with a right click, and then to get rid of it, you just hold down the right mouse button and it disappears. That can sometimes be very handy, even if you have a quest marker or something. You might want to plot a course. So say you wanted to go from here to here, but you didn't want to straight line it because of the worm. You might want to put a marker here and say, okay, I'm going to go from here to here, and then I'll see what's around, and then I'll go there. As an example, we can do that right now. All right, let's go to the first trial, and I think that will be a nice way to wrap up episode 2, part 2. So basic base configuration, some storage, remembering to get the energy up so the shields are powered, and put some batteries in there. Vital to make sure you've got quick and easy access to water. We now have blood purification going as well, so you can still drink from the from the flowers. Here you can see water, so it has now put some water into our water circuit. 200 ml. You can come to this machine, hold down E, and drink from it. And you see, for the first time since we left that initial part of the tutorial phase, all this time we've been drinking from the flowers, getting to that first bar, but never getting the buff for our stamina. Now you can see the full green line of stamina on the bottom corner, and on top of it, a thicker or a brighter colored bar denoting that we have a buff beyond. We have our first stage of our stamina buff. So that was because we were able to drink that blood from that machine. This is why, again, not as important, but fairly important as setting up next to some water that's easy access there, is setting up somewhere where there's a camp, although there's a lot of camps dotted all over the place. So this guy will be back, or somebody new will be here every once in a while. I think 40 minutes approximately. You'll be able to quickly come over here, take them down, drain the blood out of them, and Bob's your mother's brother's father's next door neighbor, or however the saying goes. I need to get out of the sun. But we're going to make our way towards the trial. It's 560 meters that way. I think this is when we're going to get first introduced to the worm sign danger. So we're going to have to run it. So we're going to use our Bindu sprint. If you're not Bene Gesserit, then you're not going to have access to that sprint. And that's going to make crossing these longer paths. You know, I set that marker over there and I was going to show you following waypoints, but then I didn't. I forgot. All right. So we're going to run over here. This is another one of these intel locations, another little sort of mission hub place, which we'll go and do. Perhaps we'll do that on the way back from the trial. I'm going to suffer horribly here because I'm going to get the scorch. Get behind this rock. All right, I got myself that debuff, so that's not wise play from me, but it is what it is. All right. So lots and lots of blood to be had down there if we go and attack those folks there. So running around the backside of this rock would probably be beneficial. comparatively, because I would be in the shade with the sun currently coming more from the north side. But again, I'm just showing you everything, warts and all. So it's easy to make this mistake, and don't ever underestimate the old sunshine. Let's get ourselves back under cover here and not get sunstroke a second time. All right, 158 meters. So our objective looks like it's over there, and you can see just next to where it says 157 at the top of the screen, center, you can see a little up arrow, and that means it's above us. So it's approximately on that kind of height there. But again, the up arrow is just up in general. It doesn't give you a, you know, whether it's 20 meters above you or 200 meters above you, it doesn't give you any clear indication of that, unfortunately. Alright, we're going to try and make it there with our toggle sprint. I'm so used to most games not being a toggle but a hold, so I sometimes press it twice. Here we go. So there's some little flowers here we can hydrate on our way in. And again, this isn't me like knowing it as such. This is taking from the map. Once you've reached this stage of your journey, it gives you this objective to follow, and we're going to go in for the first trial. So skip forward with the timestamps if you prefer not to see this, if you rather do it yourself. But I will include it for those that want to watch and just see what it's all about. The first one, you've probably had a good chance to see this by now. I think the game's been fairly visible since launch. Alright, here we go. First trial location. Puts an automatic walk mode on. You can manually toggle that. I have changed the key binding for mine to make it easier to find, because it's by default numlock on the number pad, but didn't seem to always function for me, so I switched it up. Here we go. Now your character does change. You take on this kind of... actually no, what happens is it puts your hood on, whether your hood is shown or not. I should show you where to set that actually. Once we get in here, I'll... oh, I might not be able to do it in the trial, actually, thinking about it. Okay, but when you're within the trial, you will take on this kind of generic, fully covered figure shape. Don't worry about it. It's not a bug or anything like that. It's just how the stories are programmed. Okay, here we go.
Who is it that thinks, Ibn Kirtaiba? The weight of a kindly god is a fearful thing.
Yes.
Do you understand, Wally?
I always get to the point where I say, where's Wally? Who is Wally?
Our god gave us the burning eyes of Allat and the words of the Kitab al-Ibar. Rest in black shade.
Alright. So, here, these things act as if they are the burning sun, and your job is just to sneak past them while they're either closed, or you can rush between as long as you don't get burned for too long. Like that. Alright. And then just keep following the story along. We're going to crouch here and walk under this wall. Fairly straightforward stuff. Nothing too scary. What happens if you get burned is... I'll wait for the next story part.
We suffered until suffering was a thing we came to know within our souls. Arrakis is suffering. When we found it, we were home.
Alright, so you see where you burn there as the eye is looking at you. The worst case that can happen is that you kind of pass out or fade out and disappear. And then you start from a checkpoint within the story. So you can't go horribly wrong here. It's not a game-ending situation.
Never to forgive, never to forget.
Here we go. Fairly straightforward. Turning it back on ourselves here. The location is quite impressive, nicely programmed and whatnot. There we went briefly into the eyes. And what I can say is the whole thing that keeps going in this kind of vein. Each of the trials and stories kind of gets better and better and more engrossing. Gonna wait for him to close, then we're gonna hop over those blocks over there and duck down again behind them. So quick. Like that. There we go. We got a little bit burned, but we got through just in time. Close, Mr. Eye. Up the stairs and away. There we go.
Defiance leads to thought. Who is it that thinks? Those who suffer. Remember harm them. Be la kaifa.
Alright. And then you'll be posed like you know, a straightforward question based on what you've heard.
Ibn Qirtaiba, defiance leads to thought. Who is it that thinks?
Those who suffer was what we were told during the trial.
Those who suffer. Remember Harmontep. Be la kaifa.
So, all I will say here, without spoiling anything, is just pay attention as you go through the story. Some of them are a little bit more platform-like, a little bit of running and jumping and things, triggering things within scenes. Others involve a little bit of combat. And I also haven't completed all of the 7 trials, so I can't even spoil it all for you, even if I wanted to. Alright, then you will get this at the end, because I have streamer mode to avoid any licensed music problems. On this playthrough, it showed as hidden server, hidden world, but for you ordinarily, if you're not streaming or not using streamer mode, it will show the name of your world and your siege. This is just because these dungeons, these trials are instanced for you individually. Therefore, even if you're in a party, you have to complete this on your own. But as you can see, it's not really a major challenge. It's just following story steps. Some of them will be a little bit more challenging because they will involve a bit more platform gaming or combats. Alright, there we go.
Still there, off-worlder? Your signal drifted for a moment.
Oh.
No matter. A thought occurs. When the Sardaukar began their purge, many Fremen were slaughtered. The ones that were not abandoned their caves, leaving valuable resources behind. Valuable resources that just might contain the makings of a still suit. Take what you need. Their ghosts will not object.
Alright. So those caves that we saw before, where we took the moisture sealed microfiber stuff, we need to go and gather more of that now, is what they're telling us. Whoopsie, I always go a little bit wrong here. Okay, so we're going to go find some of those. Remember, right back to the tutorial where we had to cut the seal away. We need some of that material, and we need some of the other things that we find inside. These EMF generators are pretty handy. So now it's telling us, if we look on our map, those kinds of caves should be marked for us. One top tip as well for the map, when you're zoomed out like this, sometimes you won't see all the levels of detail. You zoom in again and you will see more, such as where are various resources, where can I get granite stone. Very important, these water drops. So these are the primrose fields and some other plants later on where you can go and get water if you're in a pinch, or if you're just collecting it anyway for a larger scale later on. And then what it's told us is we're looking for these orange caves here, typically. Cave of Ghosts, there's one there. So that's where we can get some of that micro sandwich stuff, I keep saying. But anyway, if you want to go and get your microwave sandwich, we need to find some more. There should be some more caves up here as well. Of course, now if we find scavenger camps and kill the scavengers, we can harvest their blood and put that back in our blood purifier at our base. So we have to locate a moisture sealed cave. is our next step. We have to gather micro sandwich fabric and gather an EMF generator. So again, we've seen those before. We have some back in our store. So another way of doing this is we could go back to our little base, look in our stores, grab the stuff in our pocket, and it would probably be enough to complete this step too. But let's try to follow. So that's Mina Cavern that we just went in. So that will in future have some, even though we did the trial. It says it would offer that loot. But let's find some more. Also, now would be a good opportunity perhaps to briefly talk about skill points. So skill points are what you use, so-called intel. So you gather intel, that gives you skill points, and you convert those... sorry, I'm talking out of my hat. Forget what I just said. Research points are what you use intel for, and research is what you use to unlock various tools or your weaponry. It's basically your tech tree. I've just noticed actually that we're out of water. Oh, and there's bad weather coming. Ah, okay, that's rather unfortunate. Well, let's find some water and let's find some cover. There is some water back up the hill. I remember this from where we just went in the cave. And conveniently, we can use the entrance to Mina Cave to hide. So the sandstorm is coming in 2 minutes. So what we can either do is take the risk of getting somewhere else for cover, or I think the better bet is to stay here. Have cover here, and so here it says enclosed, for example, if you remember, on the left-hand side. So we should be nice and safe here. This would be a good opportunity, perhaps, if it's not too loud with the storm, to talk about research and intel. So in your research, you're spending intel points that you're getting from leveling up. But the other, and actually primary way of gathering intel through the game, is to go to various locations, larger locations, points of interest on the map, like this 3-way outpost, 0 of 1 intel. So that place we avoided before because it would be a big fight. There's another one here, Keyhole Rock. It says 0 of 1. What that means is whether you've gathered the intel data that's there or not. It does not denote how many intel points you'll get. Typically in the starter area, you're gathering about 5, I believe, intel points per, depending on the specific location, what it offers. As you progress further north and across the map, here comes the storm here. As you progress further, you will find that these intel points offer a lot more for gathering the data. So 5, 10, 15, 20, this kind of thing. You will gather an awful lot of intel points, and you will need hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of intel points to unlock all of the various opportunities in the game. Alright, here we're enclosed still. So we're just going to watch this sandstorm hustle and bustle its way through. Boom. But as you can see, we're taking no damage. We press T, our health stays stable, everything's fine. The storm will blow through pretty quickly. Yeah, and we have an empty blood sack, or 2 actually, and I don't think I have enough to make a... Oh, I do have enough to make a heal kit. Okay, let's make one. There we go. And what we can do is we can we'll go on our journey to try and find one of these moisture caves. But while doing so, we will also go and gather some intel. There's a scavenger camp here. Okay, that's going to be good for blood. So let's go to the scavenger camp. Can find it. Maybe start with the ranged weapon. Oh, here we go.
They're here. They're coming.
So unfortunately the Mauler pistol isn't particularly strong or accurate early on. But there we go, we took him out nonetheless. I'm going to switch to our blood extractor. There's the intel point here, the bigger point of interest. We're going to gather some bits and bobs here. And then let's have some fun, shall we? Let's try and take on this point of interest. This may work for us, this may not. Okay, we can take out a couple of them remotely. We're a little bit too far away, maybe. Oh, and there's a shielded NPC as well. Oh, let's duck down behind here. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Okay. Right. We need to retreat. We need to tactically reposition because we're running out of water. We could drink some blood. Unfortunately, that will hit our health. And our health is already pretty low. So let's grab a little bit more fiber here. See if we can make ourselves another healing kit. In fact, we have one on number 6 here. Let's drink some water. Okay, so here the advantage or the recommendation I would make for brand new players is potentially, we'll give this one more goal, but potentially what I would recommend. Oh, hello, you came over here. Goodness, I was not expecting that.
Found them.
She came all the way over here. That's, well, and, oh my goodness, and brought friends.
Target found.
Okay. Now, let's use our, Bene Gesserit skills. Hang on. We've got to get some stamina back so we can use our skills. Oh, she recovered.
Got you.
Or he. Oh no, I've run out of stamina. Oh, this is deadly. Oh, that's your worst case scenario, running out of stamina. Okay, I was going to say this guy must be nearly dead. Alright, we just got shielded lady. Come on. Ow, that hurt. Ah, swing and a miss. Got her. Okay. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, let's heal up again. That's a really good moment for the beginner's guide. The NPCs will chase you quite far. Really quite far. Luckily they won't respawn so quickly, so we've got a chance now to I'm going to make 5 heal kits, bandages in other words, and put those back on the key there so I notice them properly. Alright, let's have a go. In fact, what we'll do is we'll put our blood thing on there just to so that it won't be blocked. Oh, hello. Greetings. Now you got this is something else to be that's very good to see for the tutorial. Most of the time the enemies will go down. When they go down, they're dead. But sometimes they'll go down in that kind of style that looks like they're dead, but they will actually kind of heal back up. Okay, there we go. Okay, headshots do work. Or at least that will significantly reduce the amount of time it takes to kill them. So again, at this very early stage, we're taking we're going risky biscuits here, taking on one of these intel sites. It's doable. You just got to be a little bit careful, and then you're looking for fancy boxes like this. Take all that fancy stuff. Wonderful, that's mine. And then we're looking for a green glowing intel badge. So you just want to go around here. There we go, it's in the corner. That's the intel. We picked that up, and that's given us 3 intel points. So there you go. That was a little bit disappointing in that it's only 3. But you know, that's 3 more than we had before. Oh, hello. This guy obviously didn't hear the alarm bell being rung before, so that's good. Good for us, not so good for him. Okay, so I have no compatible container left to take more blood. This is what I was saying before, where I recommend that everybody takes 2 or 3 with them. Oh, this is busy. I'm also out of water, so this is not a good scenario here at all. In fact, we might have to show you drinking blood. I'm gonna, oops, not press that button. I'm gonna press number 6 and drink some blood. I feel refreshed. So I have more stamina, but I took a hit to my health. So if you have some healing kit on you, by all means drink some blood if you're in a pinch like I just did. Just be very mindful of the fact that you will take quite a hit to your HP. And therefore, we're just going to have a look up here, see if there's any more. Ah, look here. Sneaky little box. Okay, great. Alright, we still need to find a moisture cave. Let's have a look. Is anything loaded up on the map here? No. Okay, so I think we're going to go back towards... We're going to work our way back towards our base now that we picked up some health points as well. Not some health points, some intel points, I meant to say. Oh, some batteries here. That's handy. We'll take those. So that's another tip I can give you. It's worth when you're going through these kind of areas or dungeons and things in general in this game. Check out all the different bits of equipment, because sometimes the equipment, like a generator, will be something where you can collect batteries out of it, or it could have all sorts of things in it. So, well, basically just have your eyes open, look around. You never know what they might be hoarding that could be useful for us. Right. Let's go back and put our blood in production. As I said, the absolute worst case scenario, we have found that one cave over there already. Orange Cave of the Ghost, but there should be a whole bunch of them up to the north. In fact, we'll go that way, and we'll just try not to get ourselves murderized in the process. Let's see, we're 580 meters from home. Now, I also happen to know that over here is another really important point of interest. The testing station. One of many, many. Let's do our benegesserit run. Out of stamina. Okay, let that build up a little bit. Thankfully, we're not having any worm sign here right now, so that's good. Also, the Sardaukars are well out of the way. No sound of them. I think that's our little mini base over there, isn't it? No, that's the enemies thing. Okay. That's the one we dodged earlier. Always picking up fibre because, again, these heal kits are quite literally your lifeline. The science station area is another spot where it could be handy to set up base. Just because there's a lot of loot there, a lot of gear to be had, a lot of people to be taken out, and it's fairly central. All right, we've got to find some of these micro sandwich caves. I can't actually recall because I haven't been down to this bit for a while now. There's a scavenger camp that's just appeared on the map there. I think maybe over here there's some. We'll just keep going, keep looking. Oops, ran into a rock face first. Ah, now here's an interesting thing. Sometimes you'll run into these little patrols guarding like a ruined bike or something. Oh my goodness, my health is really low. I just realized I'm critically injured. Let's run away. We're tactically repositioning. Oh, there we go. Still chasing me. Okay, that was your downfall, buddy. Luckily, the other two didn't seem that bothered. No more blood containers. Okay. Oh, there's the other guy. I've got no more bullets left. Let's see. I could probably make some. I could make another blood sack. And we'll make some more darts. I've also realised another mistake I've made. I'm going to apologise to you guys in a second when we dealt with this other troublemaker. So I want to sincerely apologise. I haven't been spending any skill points There are passive abilities that the Bene Gesserit, all the classes have, and this one is you're able to heal your body more effectively after suffering catastrophic injury, regenerating your health to a higher threshold than normal, so you get 110% from healing. Let's spend a skill point on that. Then we have trauma recovery. You can use your own body to effectively heal catastrophic damage, improving both the rate at which healing occurs and the amount. Healing regen limited 120%, healing gen rate 10% higher. So pay attention to your skill points and spend them, is my message. We also can up our sun tolerance and our general vitality as a Bene Gesserit. I think these are things that in my mind I probably thought I had already done. So again, I can only apologize. Pay attention to your skills, spend your skill points. I'm not going to go too much into the actual depths of the details of each one, because even if you play Bene Gesserit, you probably want to read them and learn them for yourself and just understand and maybe mix and match. Now, this bust up old bike here, we're going to grab all that. That's a whole bunch of money and a whole bunch of more advanced parts. That's going to come in really handy in a wee while, not just yet. Right, okay, let's continue our search for a sealed cave. Aha! Look what we've found. A moisture sealed cave. This one, in this case, a bluish symbol. Nice. So they are dotted around quite handily all over the place. So let's go and get this one. We're going to cut this. Typically, there's either going to be a mine inside or more likely enemies that we're going to have to deal with, like this guy here. So we start this confrontation off with a headshot. That gives us a nice advantage in damage. Get our blade out just in case there's usually a second one. There we go. We're going to use our Bene Gesserit skill. Compel them to come towards us. Stab them in the gut. Oh, and then miss. And there we go, dead. Oof, exhausted. Now that's something with low stamina, because again we don't have much water in our system. That's where we're going to have to be really careful. So what I'm going to do here is just drink another thing of blood, because I'd rather trade a healing potion for not having much stamina in battle. This cave actually contained 2 boxes, so we got extra EMF generators, and usually they have, not always, but usually they have 2 entrances like this where you can get some more fabric. Sometimes they're just a one and done. Okay, so we have gathered those. Now it wants us to gather some, salvage some scrap metal. So I saw some up here. We're going to grab that. We're going to grab a little bit more of this copper, because that's going to become a thing quite soon. Again, not skipping too far ahead, but it's fairly obvious that we're going to need these resources since they're so plentiful around the area. Right, and our home is 325 that way, and if I remember correctly, there was a whole load of scrap metal. Here's some fuel cells. There was a whole load of scrap metal not far from our base. Look at our little base. It kind of looks like one of the enemy nests. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's not such a good thing. I don't know. All right, here we are running in the sun again. So all the tips I've given you about staying out of the sun and not getting sunstroke, you know, do as I say, not as I do. Oh, wait, what? Okay, you guys know what I mean. There we go. Get fully out of the sun. We still had our feet in the sun, okay. Right, there's some more metal here. We need some more metal here. Boom. Okay. Still need a bit more. Okay. Another bit here. Here's another tip I can give you. If you ever scan a device and either it doesn't show the cutting point or it shows in a position where you can't get all of it. This typically happens more on like a granite rock or an iron ore or something like that. Copper ore. Just move around the other side of the rock and scan it again. Because that's, yeah, it'll just give you a different pattern. And 99 times out of 100 you'll be able to get it then. Okay, to the blood machine. First thing to do always when you're coming back home, if you're at this sort of blood stage for water, which is actually almost all the way through the game, you want to come in and make sure you deposit blood. So here you can see we still have 2 little bits of blood in that sack, and the others are empty, and that there will process slowly over time and start giving us some lovely, lovely water of life. Wonderful. All right, we're going to put some more of our bits and bobs in here. Okay, we already need another box, so let's make another one. Boop. And put some other bits and pieces in here. Oh, actually, that's a schematic. So we picked up a special schematic, Mohandy's Sandbike Engine Mark 1. And what you do with those is once you're in a safe location, typically back at your base, you're going to highlight over that, hold down F and learn that schematic, and that will now appear in your learned abilities in the respective device where that would be created. Okay, return to your base and drink from water from your blood purifier. So walk over here, hold down E, drink water, done. And now research the Fabricator. And this is where things really start to pick up. Probably going to approach the end of part 2 here. Okay, Fabricator. And this is where you're going to use this device to start crafting more complex machinery, items and such. So pick a spot wherever it's comfortable for you. We're probably going to do like our storage wall along there. I'm going to put another blood device there. So I think I'm going to put the Fabricator over here. Shouldn't be in the way of the bicycle. Like that. Boom. Online. Now, it could be that if you just followed the journey steps, you only had one power source. I'm not sure if it's at this point or further on, but you might end up at a point where you don't have enough power. You can always go to any of these devices, click general settings and see circuit power. 35 is what you're using and 150 is your max. So in this case, we're completely fine. But there was a point at which the 75 power wasn't enough. Okay, and now you can see most of the things we can make in our pockets, plus some extra stuff. The still suit that we've just learned from going through the trial can be made. And again, this is where the game starts to move you on to the next mini stage. You're still in this area down south, but you're on your way to becoming much more self-sufficient. So under this blood category, you've got the still suit, scavenger still suit. It says here, fabricate a complete scavenger still suit and equip it. So double click the main body piece. There's no chest piece and pants piece or trouser piece for this one. There's a whole body suit. And then you have these other pieces. This is the bit that gives you the functionality with the water. Reusing water from sweat, etc. And these pieces are more for sun protection and a little bit of armor, but not so important as part of the overall suit in terms of the water functionality. Once this is processed and made, items typically appear here in the top left, and you collect them like in order, one at a time if they were made. Last one made appears here. You can see them processing here, and you can see a little visualization which is actually rendered in game, so you can watch the pieces be made one by one, which is a really cool animation. The other way is you can click on storage here, and you can see on the right hand side what is contained within the device, so you can just grab the items like that as well, whatever is more comfortable for you. There we go. Now equip. So we're going to put that on. That gives us back the jacket and the pants from the makeshift set. You can see here the makeshift armor value 16, dash stamina cost -6%, blade mitigation plus 12%, heat protection 0. The still suit gives us an armor value of 28, so significantly better. 0.3 heat protection, so better than 0. And the numbers look low, but it makes a big difference over time. And a catch pocket size for water of 500. Let's put the rest of the outfit on to complete that journey stop.
Just remember,
here we go.
If you didn't connect the tubes between
and there's
the
Oolon looking
bypass
quite
just right,
spiffing.
You'll be drinking
in his
your
new
own
outfit.
liquefied
Oh,
feces.
yes.
And that does not count as hydration.
I cut quite the figure, do I not?
I have good news, Off-Worlder. My
All right.
leg has recovered enough that I will risk it to move forward. I know a place in your sector where we can meet. Craft a survey device so you can figure out how to get there and join me.
All right, wonderful. So now, as you're moving around, breathing, perspiring, and all the other good things, some of the water that's currently in your big water column, you'll see now that they're in the bottom left of the screen. There's now a smaller water column next to that, and that is your still suit, water catch pocket as it's called. You press the F key, just one tap, and you will drink an amount of water from that. If I press it now, there's nothing in it because we've only just put the still suit on. But this means that we've got the opportunity not only to fill up on water from our purified blood from the system over here. Let's go and drink some more. Like that. So we're nearly up to the second bar in terms of stamina buff. So still only the first buff effective, but good chunk of water. And that other, the still suit now will retain a percentage of the water that we're kind of consuming and perspiring. And we'll be able to use the F key to drink from that reservoir in a pinch. So very, very good progress so far. That's an excellent item, an extra position to reach. The next thing it wants us to do is learn how to, let's see. This is category here of your research that shows all the unique items we found. So this special sandbike engine. I think that's the first time I've ever found that particular one. So there you go. But it wants us to research the small ore refinery. So here we go. That was in this category here. Research that. And then construct or interact with one. So if you're working together with somebody or multiple people, you don't all have to do these steps. Some of you could make the machinery, and the others can interact with it afterwards. I'm going to just throw that in there. It's a little bit wonky, but it's a funny shape. There we go. And now we can make copper ingots. So refine 12 copper ore. So I've been gathering a little bit of that ore as we've been going along, and I'm just going to go max and just put this in here, but we need to make 12. After that, or while that's processing, we've got to refine the survey kit, but in fact we need the copper as part of that process, so we need to wait for these to be finished. Once we have 12 of those, we'll be able to make the surveying kit. What you will also find is that, and it's great the way this is programmed, all the things that are in storage and the things that are in your machines as they're processing, so like once this gets to 12 in here, for example, that all counts as storage that can be seen across all of your base, regardless of the size, as long as it's all connected in one fief. And that means that this Fabricator device will be able to construct items based on what it can see in your storage chests. As well as on your person. And once we've got those 12 copper ingots crafted up, where are we at? Oh, there we go, we're 12. We should now be able to research, that should have unlocked, research the surveying kit. So the game again is seeing that we have those things made in our pockets or whatever. It wants us to make the survey probe launch, which again we can just do here at the Fabricator. Make the launcher. Gonna make 2 of these probes. We only need 1 for now, but anyway. Once we've fired one off, we can then load the next one as ammunition into the launcher, and that way it doesn't take up an extra pocket space.
Did you get a probe made? Good.
I did.
Static discharge from the sandstorms makes map data extremely unreliable on Arrakis.
Alright.
But if you can get it high enough, a handheld probe can gather enough local data to give you a snapshot of the region. Climb somewhere high and fire off the probe. Just don't let the Sardaukar spot you.
Indeed. Alright, well that's going to wrap it up for this episode, part 2, regardless of the number 3 there on the screen. I hope that this has been of help. I hope you've enjoyed it. Give it the thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what you think. If there's anything you'd like to see me cover, or something that I've gone a little bit too quick or too slow or whatever, let me know. and hopefully we can make this mini-series go a little bit longer if it's beneficial to enough people. So please do let me know. At the least give me a thumbs up if you've liked it, and that will give me the necessary nudge to say, you know what, Grumbles, that's quite handy, that is. Do some more of that, will you? Do some more. Help people. All right, that is me. I'm going to wrap it up and go and get some rest. Good vibes, everybody. Thank you for watching.